Precious.
Hey, what's up everyone, Andy here from Crusty Plug, and thank you so much for joining me for today's video. And in today's video I'm doing a little recap on all my pickups from a previous week. So it's not this week but the week before, and it wasn't particularly fruitful week in a way, but I did still manage to get a few things for my collection. So let's just dive in and have a look what's there. So first of all, I got my hands on a little PSP bundle. Went to one of the charity shops locally. They're still running this deal, 5 media items for £1, so ultimately I paid 20 pence per piece. They didn't have anything really in that day, but I spotted this little PSP bundle, so it was 4 games on one UMD disc, so maybe somebody had kind of just taken them in. Or maybe there was more and somebody already bought like the better stuff and left this behind. Regardless of what it was and how it came about, I picked this up. And when I was picking this up, I knew that I do have one of the games in my collection already. But when I got home, I realized there was actually another game which I did have already. So I ended up with 2 games that I did have and 2 games that I didn't have. So first of all, the games I did have already is Pursuit Force. So had this already, and I also got the second game also for my PSP. And the second one which I had was World Snooker Challenge 2005. So I'm not sure whether I can actually really get anything out of them as far as trades are concerned. But worst case scenario, I'll have to kind of donor cases for swapping out some buttered up cases in the future, if nothing else. So then the 2 games I didn't have, and I'm quite happy to add them to my collection. They are really cheap titles as it is, but seeing as I paid only 20 pence, that was even cheaper than they are. I think these might be worth about £1, £1.50 in retail terms. The first one is Fired Up. Unfortunately, this is not complete. The manual is missing. I also don't know much about this game. So here we go, manual is not there. I don't know much about this game. So yeah, it looks some cars with guns on it. So what was that game again? That was similar, I think it was it Twisted Metal? So it's kind of like drive out and shoot other opponents. Excuse me. So yeah, it kind of does look interesting, so I definitely wouldn't mind checking this out at some point. And then the second game I didn't have in my collection is Virtua Tennis World Tour, a tennis game. This fortunately is complete, so the manual is there, and it's rather nice and clean manual. So it's all there. Now, I keep telling this in probably every second video I do. I'm not really caring much for sports games, but they are part of the gaming history, so I do collect them, and I'm not really looking to play them, but I do enjoy a little bit of tennis, so I might actually load this up at some point and check it. And then I got a lonely UMD disc of BBC Extras, the complete first series by Ricky Gervais. So that's a UMD release. I don't know whether there's any leaflets ever in, but there's 2 discs. Now, as far as UMDs are concerned, I wanted to ask you, everyone, or all of you, and hopefully you can chip in and kind of cast your thoughts on this. Now, I watched recently a video on one of the channels I think I follow, or maybe it was a random video, I cannot quite remember who it was, but there was a talk about the PSP and also UMD discs or releases were mentioned, and they were actually collecting also the UMDs, the films for the PlayStation Portable, and their kind of theory was, or kind of concept of all this. If you think about the films, then normally, if you look at things like VHS tapes back in the day, DVDs, not so distant past, and now things like Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray, discs on films and releases, they obviously are kind of a little bit generic, because you can buy a disc and ultimately as long as you have some sort of player that is compatible with that format, you can play it. Now when it comes to UMDs, you can only play them on a PSP, so there's no any other way of playing them. So that actually makes them a little bit kind of a niche product, and I thought about that and I think, yeah, that's kind of does add a little bit kind of to the kind of PSP legacy in a way, and maybe the UMDs should be really seen as being part of that PSP legacy, that PSP collection as well, or back catalogue. So I have kind of decided, and I'll see how it goes, but I kind of have decided that I will be start collecting UMD discs as well for my PSP, and ultimately pile up some collection of films as well. So if you could let me know down below in comments, what are your thoughts about this concept about UMD and PSP? Do you see that as UMD films as part of PSP collection, or you just see them as films that are nothing to do with PSP and you don't touch them? So yeah, it would be interesting to see what other people and other YouTubers think about it, and other collectors think about it. So yeah, please let me know. Now the next little bundle came out once again from the same charity shop I picked up the PSP bundle from. That was in I was there in different day, and unfortunately they didn't have anything much in the games, but I spotted there was a 360 game that I knew that I didn't have in my collection. So I topped up that one game with 4 films to kind of make that bundle work, 5 items for £1. So I ended up picking up some sealed DVDs and a Blu-ray, so probably we'll just trade these and get £1 or £2 back. And then the game the game which I didn't have in my collection, which is a Capcom release, is Resident Evil 6 for Xbox 360. I have played this a little bit on PlayStation 3, I think, and this is complete, which is nice, and really nice, clean copy. Not really scuffed or anything, so yeah, I was really pleased to pick this up because I didn't have it, and for 20 pence, then yeah, it's a nice little score. It's maybe not one of the best Resident Evil games in the series, but I am a rather huge Resident Evil fan. I really enjoy the series, and I'm super happy to add this to my collection. And then they also had what appeared to a few Nintendo Wii games, but I opened the cases and they were empty. And I went to counter with these and I said, oh, these are empty, what are you going to bin them or can I have them? And they said, well, you can, because the discs are not inside, you can have them. So I ended up with 2 rather nice and clean cases for Wii, but the games in question supposed to be Wii Sports Resort and Wii Fit Plus. And I need to actually have a look around in my kind of spares somewhere. Something tells me I might have Wii Sport Resort disc, loose disc somewhere, and if I do, then ultimately I can complete this, and I believe I do have this in my collection already, so that means I could flip it, and this holds a little bit of value, so it would be actually beneficial one day to get a disc for it and trade it on. Now, moving on, this came out from another charity shop in town, and this was a lonely pickup one day. Again, it was pretty slim pickings. They didn't have anything apart from a bunch of sports games, but I spotted this and I did not have this in my collection, so I was happy to grab it, and it is a Nintendo Wii game, Mario Power Tennis, and it's Nintendo Select copy. Which I don't mind at all, and I did not have this, and this is complete, and rather nice and clean copy as well. Trying to remember, I think I paid £1.99 for this, which was a really good price. And then I think this was again from the same charity shop but on a different day. I walked in, they didn't have anything at all there really, apart from your usual sports game selection. So I kind of approached one of the staff members, and I said, you know, do you have anything else at the back that you might not have out yet? And he said, oh, I think I did. There is a few games. So he went at the back, came out with probably half a dozen PS2 games, and straight away I spotted there was several sports games which were no interest to me. But then in between everything else, they had a copy of God of War, the first game. Unfortunately I did have this, but I picked it up regardless. It was 99 pence because this, I think, is about £8 retail, so I certainly can flip it and get a couple pounds to fund some future game pickups for myself. And then also they had a copy of The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and I had this game already, but this is a marginally better copy, so I will be swapping this one out. So I will be putting this particular one into my collection and removing the other copy I have already, which is, you know, in slightly worse condition. So this is just a nicer, cleaner copy. So yeah, I was happy to pick that one up for 99. And then what happened, as I was paying for these two PlayStation 2 games, the guy actually disappeared at the back, and then he runs out and he says, oh, by the way, I got another one, do you want this? And it's not a rare title by any means, but I was kind of super excited to see him coming out with this one and picking it up because well, it's PlayStation 1 game, and it's been absolutely ages since I've seen any PlayStation 1 or PlayStation OG games in any charity shops. And so yeah, it was kind of nice to see a PlayStation game, and then secondly, it was a game I didn't have in my collection, and I suppose thirdly, it was a little bit interesting release, or the interesting packing case, whatever you want to call it, or edition, that's the word I was looking, an interesting edition. So it is PlayStation 1 copy of Mortal Kombat 3, and it is a cardboard case, so it's I don't know whether that meant to be like a limited edition or something. It doesn't say anything, but it's not your ordinary plastic case. It's actually a cardboard case, which kind of opens up, so very interesting. But it is in really nice, clean condition, complete with manual. Manual has a little wear on it, but nothing too major, and ultimately it's all complete, all pages intact, all clean, which is nice. And then the actual game disc is there as well. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted to get my hands on this. It was £1.99. At the time I looked it up, I cannot quite remember. I think it's about £10–12 what it retails for, so it's not an expensive game per se, but seeing as I paid only £2 for it, so that was again a little victory as far as I was concerned. Then this little pile here came out from yet another charity shop. Walked in again one of these days, I was hunting for the games, and again they did not have anything on shelves, and I was kind of like leaving, but the ladies that work there, they I think they have over the time noticed me and recognized me, because I do pop in there like at least once a week. They kind of intercepted me on the way out, and they say, oh, you know, are you after some games? And I says, yeah, but you don't have anything there. And then one of them said, give me 2 minutes, I'll go and check at the bag, because I think there is a little pile at the back that we haven't put out yet. And right enough, she came out with a little pile of games, and there were probably about 15 or so games. And I had a look, and of course the usual stuff, there was some sports games and whatnot, which I didn't particularly care for. But I went through and picked up some stuff that I found interesting and happy to pick up. And all of these games I'm going to be showing you now, I paid £1 for them. First of all, some PC games, picked up 4 PC games, and I keep saying this as well. I do love collecting for PC. I think there are some fantastic games available on PC that are not available on any other platform. and I got quite a high spec PC which actually needs kind of upgrading. I need to upgrade my graphics cards because they start really showing their age, so I had them for about probably 4 years now. So yeah, so that's something I need to look into it as well. But ultimately, that aside, I do love also play an occasional game on PC, and always happy to look out for some PC games. So I picked up Blitzkrieg. Attack is the only defense. I believe I did have this game already. I haven't really looked it out, but I believe I do have it, but I grabbed it anyway, and it is complete, so if nothing else I can trade it for something else. Imperial Glory, I know for a fact that I did have this once upon a time. Whether I still do or not, I don't know. I maybe have sold it, traded it, but this is a complete copy with, I think there's like a map, or oh, it's a tech tree. This I think is some sort of like a strategy game, and I absolutely love the strategy games. So ultimately I might not have this, and even if I do, then it's really nice clean copy, so I can trade it. Now, excuse me, The Thing. I did not have this for PC, definitely, so this is going into my collection, complete. And I have not ever played The Thing video game. I know that it's kind of a multi-platform game. I do have it also on PlayStation, albeit I think it's an NTSC copy, which I have no means of playing. But I really enjoyed the film. I thought the film was brilliant. So based on that, I really want actually to experience this game as well and play it and see if it's any good or not. So that was the third. And then the fourth PC game I picked up is another kind of like a strategy game, and it's Empire Earth. And this is the sold out kind of a cheapy label, but nonetheless picked this up. I also did have this once upon a time in my collection. Whether I still do or not, I'm not entirely sure. My PC games are kind of tidied away at the moment, so I need to get into them and dig everything out and go through and organize everything. And actually missed, there's a fifth PC game, so there was another one, another sold out re-release, another real-time strategy game, and I'm not sure how it's pronounced actually. Is it Praetorians? Not sure, guys, so you will know better. My English sometimes fails me. Some words I really get tripped up on, and hang on some words, and I cannot really pronounce them properly. So anyway, yes, that's another PC game. Then they also had a couple Xbox 360 games that I decided to pick up. Now this one here actually did have, but this, funnily enough, it's a sports title, but it still holds a little bit of value, and I think it's retails for about £5. So I thought, well, for £1, I might be able to flip this and get a £2 or £3 for it somewhere. And it is NHL 14. So that's a game I already had in my collection. And then I picked up another NHL game, and it is NHL 13, but this one I did not have in my collection. So this is getting added to my collection, and ultimately I am quite happy to add this into my collection. And then the third Xbox 360 game and the last Xbox 360 game I picked up was another title that I didn't have in my collection, and it is SBK09 Superbike World Championship. So this is a complete copy, and was rather happy to get my hands on this as well, because well, it's complete and it's rather clean copy as well. Well, that's what matters really, because sometimes stuff in charity shops can be rather nasty, but this was a nice clean copy, and for £1 I thought, why not? I don't have this game, let's add it to my collection. So yeah. And then the last game, which I was really pleased to pick up in that bundle, and it was kind of a little bit out of blue when I see it. I was like, oh my god, you know, this is so nice to actually pick it up. So that was a little kind of a mini victory for me, and it is sealed copy of Assassin's Creed Origins for Xbox One. So yeah, I was super happy to get my mitts on a sealed Xbox One game, and Assassin's Creed Origins I really want actually to play this game at some point. I think in one of the recent videos, I really want to sit down and play through all the Assassin's Creed series, starting from the first game. And ultimately, yes, this is a nice pickup for me for £1, so this is definitely staying and going into my collection, and it will hopefully at some point will be played as well. And then a couple more things to show, and that will then wrap up this video. First of all, I did pick up a little, well, not maybe a little, it was quite substantial. There was, I think, in excess of 10 games. I'm trying to remember how many there were, actually about 12-30 games all in. But I picked up a bundle through Facebook Marketplace one night, and there was a guy selling Xbox One games mainly, and I think there was like three Xbox 360 games as well in that pile. So I managed to negotiate a little deal with him, and I went and picked that bundle up. I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do with all the games, and what I'm keeping, what I'm not keeping for now, and what I might be trading on for now. But I pulled out 2 games, Xbox One games, that I'm definitely keeping, and we'll quickly just touch base on these ones as well. First of all, this game I didn't have at all in my collection, and it's maybe not the reason I'm keeping it, not because I didn't have it, but there's another reason I'll just tell you in a second. But it is Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I'm not sure if you can spot anything of ordinary with this already, but if not, this is an Asian release, so if you pay attention to age rating, there is foreign texts at the back. You get Chinese, and I think it's Korean. So yeah, it says here English and Chinese text, English voices, and I think it came out of Singapore. Yeah, Electronics Arts Asia Pacific. Yeah, it's in Singapore address on it. So I'm not entirely sure which market it was meant to be. Was it like a global Asian market, or was it kind of like aimed at Chinese market or whatnot? But anyway, so I did not have this game in my collection, and the reason really I'm keeping this because it is a little out of ordinary. So this is an Asian release, and of course, if it would have been UK, then I probably might have even tried to flip this for the time being, and then pick it up once the price drops, because this still holds a little bit of value. But because it's an Asian release, I am keeping it because ultimately it's a different variant on different artwork. And I am like a little bit sucker for this stuff, if I pick up a game that's got a slightly different artwork, and even if I have it already, I'm still going to keep that game because it's different artwork. So, but yeah, and there's also some game add-on cards inside with codes. They've probably all been used already, but as far as I can tell, it's all complete with all the inserts, which is nice. So yeah, this is a keeper for now, definitely. And I'm placing, when I pick up bundles, I always kind of price up the individual games, so I kind of then at later date uncatalogue them, and then at later date, if I ever wonder what I paid for that particular game, I can always look it up and see what was the price. So I'm putting £7 on this, so I paid £7 for that. And then I'm really excited to get this game, and I am actually in a process of collecting all the different releases of this game across different platforms, and it is Alien Isolation. Or Isolation, sorry, I pronounced it a little bit weird. Alien Isolation. And this is Ripley Edition. They done a few different editions for all the consoles. And this says includes 2 bonus pieces of content, Last Survivor and Crew Expandable. Unfortunately, the game add-on cards with the codes are not inside. They've been chucked probably. So a little bit disappointed that the cards with the codes not inside, even if they were used. I always like to have as complete edition as possible, but nonetheless I'm keeping this game. I'm adding it for or placing a price on it, £3, so that's what I basically paid for this. And the reason I kind of got onto this, because it is an amazing game, and I was recently talking to Steve Craig from, Steve Craig Retro Games, another YouTuber from States, and he picked up, I think was it a PlayStation 3 copy recently, and I started to talk to him about Alien Isolation, and was telling how amazing this game is. I played it on my Steam account, and it's absolutely incredible game. I really love the original Alien and second film Aliens, albeit quite kind of a little bit two different films in two different kind of genres. But yeah, Alien is amazing. I love the films, I love the franchise. Latest films maybe are not as great as the original ones, but still. And when I played this game, it was like just an amazing experience. So yeah, I decided to devote a little bit of my time and try to look out all these different Alien Isolation releases and have a complete Alien Isolation collection across different platforms. And so this was the kind of one of the first I managed to get. Up till this point I had it only on my Steam digitally. I'm working on it in a behind the scenes, so there will be a further updates, but so far it's just this copy here for Xbox One, so I'm really looking forward to get more. And then, seeing as I caught a little Alien Isolation bug, I knew about this from back in the day. I never bought it at the time it was released. I think it's out of print now, as far as I know. I might be wrong, but anyway, I picked this up from eBay, brand new, sealed. And I was super excited to get my hands on this one here, and it's a little bit of a literature in a way, and it is The Art of Alien Isolation. So this is a hardback art book for the game, still sealed, not open, but I'm definitely going to be opening this and indulging myself in the art. And I can see the back, it says the recommended retail price for this was $29.99 UK, $34.95 US and $39.95 Canadian. But I picked it up from eBay, brand new, sealed. Somebody was selling it, and they had a fixed price, but they were accepting offers, and we went back and forth with a few offers, and I managed to, we managed to deal and settle on £18.50. So £18.50 delivered. That's what it costs me to get this art book, and I'm really looking forward to open this up and actually check it out. But that's it, guys. I'll leave it or finish on a high note. I'm excited about the Alien Isolation franchise, and yes, definitely if you haven't played Alien Isolation, and especially if you love Alien films, then you definitely should check that game out. It was recently ported to Nintendo Switch as well, but mind on Nintendo Switch, it's only available digitally, there is no physical release. However, as far as I know, I think it was from Digital Foundry, report on the Switch release, and apparently they have done a really good job with the Switch port, and in some ways actually it is even better than like Xbox One or PlayStation 4 releases, but I haven't played it on Switch yet, so I don't have any kind of personal opinion or experience to share, but yeah, check it out, definitely check out Alien Isolation. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today for this latest update. And yes, it wasn't anything too crazy, but still a few good games I picked up and a few interesting articles. But that's it, so I shall see you very soon in the next video, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please also consider doing so, and ultimately please drop me a comment down below if you want to give me heads up on anything else, or if you want to just join the kind of the YouTube love and share some of your feelings about anything I picked up today, or anything you feel like it's worth talking. Okay, guys, I'll see you very soon in the next one, but for now, take it easy.